everyone. Welcome back to Story Time today. My name is Miss Corinne, and today I will be reading one of my all-time favorite books. It is Imogene's Last Stand, written by Candace Fleming and illustrated by Nancy Carpenter. I love this book because I love history, as you can tell. Littleville, New Hampshire was small. So small it wasn't even a speck on the state map. Still, Littleville was home to a village green, a general store, a three-legged cat, and a little girl named Imogene Tripp. Imogene loved history. When she was a baby, her first words were, 7 years ago. As a preschooler, she finger-painted an accurate map of the Oregon Trail. As a kindergartner, she used her show-and-tell time to give a series of lectures on important women in history. And here it says next week, Sojourner Truth. Now Imogene's attention was on the Littleville Historical Society. The society, a centuries-old house stuffed with dusty antiques, had sat at the end of Main Street unloved and unwanted until Imogene pushed open its creaky front door. "Wow!" she exclaimed. "What a mess!" added her father. Imogene shook her head. "This isn't a mess, Daddy," she declared. "This is history, and in the immortal words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we are made by history." Then she got busy, sweeping away cobwebs, filing old letters, pasting yellowed photographs into albums, identifying fossils, organizing arrowheads, and even refinishing a 4-poster bed. You can see some of these pictures. There is a lot of cool stuff in this place. Excuse me. When she was done, Imogene waited. And waited. And waited to give the townspeople a tour. But, in the immortal words of Davy Crockett, she sighed, "Ain't nobody comin'." Finally, one morning, a workman arrived. He pounded a sign into the society's front yard. It says, "Notice, this house will be torn down Saturday so a shoelace factory can be built in its place. By order of Mayor I.M. Butts." Yes, that is the mayor's name. "Torn down!" cried Imogene. "But in the immortal words of William Morris, old buildings do not belong to us. They belonged to our forefathers, and they will belong to our descendants." The workman shrugged. "Tell it to the mayor." So Imogene did. When she finished, Mayor Butts shook his cheeks. "My position is firm. Out with the old, in with the new." "What about the society?" cried Imogene. "What about history?" "Who cares about history?" snorted the mayor. "Shoelaces will put this town on the map." And he showed her the door. Out on the sidewalk, Imogene fumed. "I won't let it happen. In the immortal words of John Paul Jones, I have not yet begun to fight." I love her. And fight she did. Tuesday morning, dressed in her Paul Revere costume from Halloween, Imogene galloped up and down Main Street. "The bulldozers are coming! The bulldozers are coming!" she shouted. No one heeded her cry. Finally, Mr. Tuttletwit stepped out of the general store. "Hold your ponies, little missy. Don't you know shoelaces are going to put this town on the map?" Imogene snatched up her stick horse. In the immortal words of Theodore Roosevelt, "Balderdash!" She stomped home to her father. But Wednesday morning, she was at it again. Armed with stepladder and scotch tape, she tied a red, white, and blue ribbon around every tree, streetlight, stop sign, parking meter, mailbox, fire hydrant, bike rack, baby stroller, and dog collar in town. "Don't let your past get smashed!" she cried. No one joined her cause. Finally, Officer Fitzwilliam said, "Those bows are real pretty, honey, but shoelaces will put this town on the map." Imogene frowned. She trudged home to her father. Not going good. But Thursday morning, she was back. Up before dawn, she scribbled until her fingers cramped. Then, as the sun rose in the sky, a biplane dipped low over Littlefield and dropped hundreds of handmade flyers. "Rally on the village green and save your history," each one read. No one rallied. Finally, little Abner Pitt pedaled over on his tricycle. "Don't you understand, Emmy? Shoelaces are going to put this town on the map." It was the last straw. "In the immortal words of Chief Joseph," she sobbed, "my heart is sick and sad." She ran home to her father. All too soon, it was Friday. Imogene wandered through her beloved society. "Goodbye, photographs," she sniffled. "Goodbye, fossils and four-poster bed. Goodbye, old letters." A yellow parchment caught her eye. Imogene read it once. She read it twice. She read it aloud. October 16, 1789. "Dear Sir, thank you again for the hospitality you showed me last Tuesday. The oxtail soup was delicious, and the four-poster bed soft as angels' clouds. Indeed, I have not slept so well since leaving Mount Vernon. Your humble and obedient servant, G. Washington." Imogene gasped. George Washington? Had he really slept here? Quickly, she wrote a message explaining everything to the renowned Littlefield historian, Professor Cornelia Pastmatters. "Please hurry," Imogene begged. Then she clicked send and began to pace. Time! If only she had more time! But how could she get some? Inspiration struck, and Imogene sprang into action. When Saturday and all the bulldozers arrived, Imogene Tripp stood ready. "In the immortal words of the Vietnam War protesters," she shouted, "Heck no, I won't go!" The bulldozers growled to a stop, watching, waiting. Her father came on the run. "Imogene, get out of the way!" "Daddy," she declared, "in the immortal words of Abraham Lincoln, a great oak is only a little nut that held its ground. I'm holding my ground." Just then, Mayor Butts huffed up to the porch stairs. "Unlock yourself this instant!" "Heck no, I won't go!" Imogene cried. The mayor whirled on Imogene's father. "Do something!" Imogene's father looked from the mayor to his daughter and back again. "Heck no, we won't go!" he finally cried. Mayor Butt's nostrils flared. "That pipsqueak can't stay on this porch forever, and when she moves, smash!" He stomped back to the bulldozers. As the sun rose higher, the townsfolk gathered to see what was happening. Mr. Tuttleswood arrived. So did Officer Fitzwilliam and little Abner Pitt. He called out, "Are you all right, Emmy?" "In the immortal words of President Martin Van Buren, I am okay," she replied firmly. By mid-afternoon, TV reporters had arrived. They rushed to interview the little girl who refused to leave the porch. "In the immortal words of Eleanor Roosevelt, you must do the thing you think you cannot do," Imogene told them. Suddenly, a limousine appeared. Its door opened, and out stepped Professor Pastmatters! Gasped Imogene, followed by... Who is "The President of the United States!" gasped the crowd. The president headed straight for the cameras. "I'm here to declare this house a national landmark." She held up a brass plaque. "George Washington slept here." Imogene whooped. "We did it!" "Yes, indeed," agreed Professor Passmatters. "I'm so proud," said Imogene's father. Little Abner Pitt stepped forward. "Wait!" he cried. "What about shoelaces?" "Shoelaces?" Mayor Butt snorted. "Who cares about shoelaces?" He smiled for the cameras. "Why, our town's history will put us on the map." The townspeople cheered. The bulldozers rumbled away, and Imogene plucked the key from her pocket and freed herself. Then everyone, even Mayor Butts, went on a tour of the Littleville Historical Society. "In the immortal words of me," Imogene later said as she waved goodbye to the last of her guests, "that was totally fun." "It sure was," laughed her father. "It sure was." That is it. And if you look inside the book, there are all the different historical figures that she quotes and a picture of them. Some fantastic quotes through history and a little bit about the person that said them. I adore this book. I love history and I love stories, and this book combines it perfectly. I hope you guys are all good and you're safe and you're healthy and you are doing what you're supposed to do by staying home. You're not stuck at home. You are safe at home. And I hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.